There's a scene from The Lion King that I love so much. And that's that scene where Mufasa says to Simba, everything the sun touches is our kingdom. Someday, the sun will set on my time as king and rise with you as the new king. Now, the reason I love that scene is because Mufasa was creating a mental picture in Simba's mind, telling him that, look, you're going to be king someday. And for you to become king, I need you to envision what it takes to become king. I need you to see your kingdom and see all that you stand to inherit. Now, in that story, you could see Simba running around shouting, oh, I just can't wait to be king. So he was filled with excitement at the thought of what he was going to become. All right. But eventually, as the story continues, tragedy struck. Mufasa dies and Simba flees the kingdom and suddenly forgets who he is, suddenly forgets the picture that his father showed him, and he accepts a mediocre, ordinary lifestyle of running around the jungle, feasting on bugs and associating with commoners, unquote. All right. But the good thing about the story is that Rafiki finds him eventually, and what Rafiki does is that Rafiki tries to deal with that identity crisis that Simba has developed. He asks him a very important question. Who are you? And if you're familiar with that story, you could see that Simba stuttered. Simba couldn't answer that question. Who are you? And what Rafiki does that amazes me is that Rafiki leads him back to the source of the vision. Now, Rafiki says, I could imagine him saying, oh, Simba, if you cannot tell me who you are, perhaps if I take you back to your father, because he said, I know your father, you are Mufasa's boy, I know your father. So if I take you back to the source of the vision, where you developed that vision in the first place, perhaps that will correct your identity crisis. And that's what happened. Rafiki leads him to the river where he meets his father, Mufasa, and Mufasa says, you've forgotten who I am. You've forgotten me. You must remember who you are. And Mufasa emphasizes it 3 times. Remember, remember, remember. And by the reason of that meeting with his father, Mufasa, Simba runs along and goes to confront, his uncle and reclaim all that was his. The reason I'm sharing this story is because it's very relatable to our lives. Now, so many of us, when we were growing up or along the line, we had so many plans, we had lofty visions, we had so many dreams, goals, aspirations, things that we wanted to achieve. But due to one setback or the other, we lost sight of all those visions. And that's what the devil does. The devil goes after our vision. He goes after our vision. If you remember, when Samson was captured in the Bible, the first thing they did was to take out his eyes. All right. Samson had been called to be a defender of Israel. He had called to be a judge. But there is no way he can operate in the fullness of his destiny if he couldn't see. So they took away his eyes. They took away his vision. Let's just reduce him to a visionless young man. That way he won't be a threat to us. And that's what the devil does. He brings forth challenges. He brings forth situations that cause us to lose sight of who we are. Now, I'm here to remind you by God's Spirit of who you are. It doesn't matter what challenges you may have faced. It doesn't matter what setbacks you may have faced. I'm here to remind you of who you are. You are a joint heir with God in Christ Jesus. You've been made the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. As he is, so are you in this world. Greater works than he did shall you do. It doesn't matter what the previous year came with. It doesn't matter what the years before came with. It doesn't matter what challenges you may have faced. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. You must go back to the source of vision, and there's no vision without God. You must go back to the source of vision. Rekindle your relationship with God. Some challenges may have caused you to forget who you are, but I'm telling you today, I'm reminding you today that there is greatness within you. There is greatness within you. You must go back to the source of the vision and deal with this identity crisis and manifest the fullness of God's potentials and abilities in you. I'm rooting for you. God bless you.